I didn't like, and I think we deserve to lose. So simple as that. Two horses and a little horse. A little horse that still needs milk and work and learn how to jump, and a horse that next season we can race. Liverpool, they don't play in Champions League, and when Champions League arrive, it will be another situation for us and not for them. He is a specialist in failure. If I do that in Chelsea, 8 years, I leave London, I don't come back.
Mourinho's mind games. I've got a manager, I've got a psychologist, and I've got a player here to talk through mind games. I'm going to start with you, Neil. Season's developing. It's a big moment in the season. Has anyone ever got under your skin? Everyone wound you up to think that it's affected your performance as a manager and then affected your team?
Do you mean this week?
Yeah. No, I meant over... maybe this week, but over a season.
Yeah, oh, definitely. You're going to get that as a manager. The only time I've been disappointed with Jose has been his comments about Wenger, which I think he'll regret that the next day. But I think he's top man at psychology, and I think the win against Man City was the best result this season, and I think half of that was won before the game.
In what way?
I just think that they were such invincible that when he starts talking about the little horse and and the big horse and all the one, he didn't really think that. He just tried to put doubts in their mind that it was going to be easy for their lads. Trying to put positive, sort of give their behind the scenes. He'll have been saying, look, that horse is going to get kicked when we play him. Don't worry about that. So I was fascinated that week, and it was a great result that week for him.
Clarke, as a player, there's one where he said, I made 11 mistakes, and that was the 11 selections that I made. Criticising the team a little bit, but also taking responsibility. Does that make a big difference to a player when a manager backs you?
I think it's fantastic as a player when a manager steps out and he deflects the attention away from you. And I think that it's a huge part of the mind games that some managers are good and it's effective and some are wholly ineffective. But Jose is the best. He steps out there and he diverts all the attention away from his squad, away from their performances, and focuses everything on him. So while the circus is all enjoying him, he can quietly take his squad to the side and say the truth to them behind closed doors.
Dan, is he the master?
I think he is. I think he is. He's Shakespearean. What did Shakespeare say? The world is a stage, and that press conference for Jose that's his stage. And he's absolutely brilliant with his words, his language. Be aware, he's not speaking to you, the press. He's not speaking to those people at home. He's speaking to two sets of people. He's speaking to his players and he's speaking to the opposition. He's trying to create a stress response in the opposition camp. He's trying to focus the minds of his players, increase their confidence and team them. It's almost like a siege mentality, them against us.
To get an advantage, isn't it?
Yeah,
absolutely. It's all to get an advantage.
I remember reading a story about him when he was at Porto. He used to go out when it was a local derby. Just before the game, 20 minutes before the game, he used to walk out onto the pitch, stand there, and the crowd, the opposition crowd, used to go absolutely crazy. So by the time the players came out, they were exhausted.
Chris, I did that every week.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I knew...
That was the home
I can yes, that's the home fan. But, you use that. You might turn yourself into the villain.
Because you do get the fans against you. I mean, if the fans are chanting at yourself, they're leaving the players alone. So I think it's quite good for the manager, like Clarke says, to divert attention from the team and to be clever with it as well. 11 mistakes he made, but then he says, but I picked the wrong team, so he was in it with them.
And did you think he picks his targets well? Someone like Arsene Wenger, who doesn't seem to want to join in with the fights.
I don't think there's anyone who isn't a target for Jose. I think he constantly, 24/7, goes out there to take everyone's vision away from the players, because while all that's going on, I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson was a master at it as well. You know, they manipulate the press so that all the focus would be on refereeing decisions, an incident, and not, you know, an horrific performance by any one of his players. As a player, that's fantastic, because we know how intensely the media scrutinises their performances.
Is there a way of conquering this man? I mean, a lot of people have tried it psychologically. I know Pep Guardiola probably did it through results, but is there any way psychologically to get at him?
Ignore him, ignore it, create a football club that focuses on themselves. Jose Mourinho is basically saying, with the Wenger comment, and with any comment he makes about other managers, hate me. Please hate me. Because when you get that angry and you get over-emotional, you will make decisions with your judgment. You will make poor decisions on and off the pitch. I want you to get over-emotional. I want you to hate me here. It's tough to deal with.
Neil, you were quite, put in inverted commas, an emotional manager. I've seen you lose the plot on the sidelines with your players when they weren't performing. Would he get under your skin?
I don't think he did. I mean, if anything, I think I might have got under his skin when we played him, at Bramall Lane in particular, you know, with the way we played. I think you can get under his skin a little bit, you know, if he doesn't get things going his own way. And that's why, when they lose, I like to hear his press conferences, how he turns it all around and how he comes out of it when they lose, not when they win. You know, I think that's the art of psychology, is how to lift his players when they've had a defeat onto the next one.
Yeah, 'cause Sam Allardyce said, there's nothing better. You know, when you've got under the skins of a Chelsea team is when Mourinho's steaming up and down, saying about the nerves, and the players are falling over the place.
Do you know what? I think that was probably the one incident this season that has got under Jose's skin, because Sam Allardyce, the way that he was just, you know, when he was celebrating, he was like, I love it, I love it. and, you know, I think Jose would have seen that as a slur on him, that this man, an opposition manager, was laughing in his face. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have riled him so much.
Gents, fascinating stuff, and of course we'll see more of that on BT Sport. Thanks.